Welcome to Be a Smarter Homeowner podcast, where you'll discover strategies to save money, save time, and be better organized in managing your largest financial asset and biggest expense, your home. Your hosts, John Bodrozic and Beth Dodson, who are co-founders of HomeZada, have been supporting homeowners for over 20 years. They are here to share with you their tips and suggestions, as well as interviews with industry experts, with the goal of helping you become a smarter homeowner. Now, here's your hosts, John and Beth.
Hello, homeowners. Welcome to Be a Smarter Homeowner podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Beth Dodson. I'm here with another host and co-founder of HomeZada, John Bodrozic. Hello, John.
Hello, Elizabeth. How are you doing this fine day?
I am doing fantastic. I am excited to continue our discussion about AI. So the last discussion, you gave us an overview of what we look at in homeowners, in HomeZada and around the country, because it's kind of crazy, or even the world. It's kind of crazy how everyone is so uniquely different, which I also think is beautiful. But also, we talked about generative AI. We talked about how homeowner AI plays a role. Now I want to get into the nitty gritty. I want to really understand how it works, and specifically how it works in HomeZada, because I'm excited about this. And for those
the pressure's
of you,
on. I'm ready to perform.
No, pressure's not on, but literally for everyone on the podcast who's listening, I have been using HomeZada since its inception. So I haven't had a really big need to use the AI because my HomeZada account is loaded with all kinds of information. But I'm starting to find that the AI is becoming very helpful to me in unique situations. So John, tell us a little bit more about some high-level details. Oh, it sounds high-level in detail. It sounds like an oxymoron. How we can provide value to homeowners everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah. So kind of dovetailing off of your experience, HomeZada, we built a digital home management platform that helps you manage inventory and maintenance and projects and finances. Then we introduced generative AI and turned that into homeowner AI. And one of the things that on how homeowner AI works in HomeZada is when you create a HomeZada account, you are creating a property and you're signing up for HomeZada with a property, and you can enter in your address. Now, when you enter in your address, that becomes a critical component over the value of what you're going to get out of homeowner AI, because when you enter in your address, HomeZada will get the age of your home, the square footage of your home, the numbers of bedrooms and bathrooms of your home, and we get the latitude and longitude, as well as the specific address over where your home is located. We can also get estimated values of your home. Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there for a second, and it may lead into the next phase. Sorry to interrupt you, but for those people out there who don't know this information that you're describing when you get an address of a home, this is public record information. Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, most people have probably bought or sold a home and they went to a real estate portal, right? There's a couple of them. There's MLS sites, but every single county in America, there's 3,000 counties, and the county's job, one of their many jobs on the land department, is to essentially know every single home in their address and all the details about that home because of the property tax information. So all that data is essentially public. It's just been aggregated in lots of different ways so that it's ease of use at sign up. All you have to do is enter 123 Main Street in St. Louis, Missouri, and all that data automatically gets populated for you. You don't have to know all that. It's all that public history about that particular address that automatically gets updated for you inside of HomeZada, which is creating that foundation over how homeowner AI works, because we talked about it in the last episode. It's got to be property specific information.
Yes.
And in order for it to be property specific, getting your address at the beginning allows that essentially to happen, which becomes massively important.
Totally. Totally, totally. So I did interrupt you. You were not only talking about bedrooms, bathrooms, address, longitude lines, you were also talking about values as well, property values.
Yes. If you think about every home in America, the current estimated value of your home is going up and down based on both macro conditions, economic conditions, as well as micro conditions. If you live in a hot area, prices are going up. What's the inventory? So there's a lot of technology that's gone off to create what's called estimated home values. Again, lots of sort of popular sites that kind of do that. HomeZada also provides essentially the same estimated value. So that becomes important as it relates to Homeowner AI when you're asking it financial questions. Because it's one thing to get property specific answers to your complex questions based on the age and location of your home, which may be maintenance oriented or insurance oriented. But if you start asking questions about the estimated value of your house and what it might be in the future and what my equity is and should I sell and what my closing costs are, all that requires a baseline of understanding of what the current value of your home is. So all of this, candidly, it's really multiple data sets coming together that make it extremely valuable. One data set is the physical location of your house. The next is the estimated value. Another data set, maybe HomeZada's already pre-populated lots of generic information like a generic inventory, and we've created our own maintenance calendar. And then there's even a fourth data set, which is photos that you upload to the system. So now you've got what I call user-generated data, system data, third-party data, like all those counties, as well as the large language model, which is a text speak for a vast amount of data that these generative AI tools compile. And you smash all four of those data sets together, which makes every interaction with Homeowner AI inside of HomeZada massively useful for every single homeowner, no matter what type and style of home you own.
No, that's fantastic. So today we're going to talk about more specifics. So
I'm actually going to show it to you.
Oh, I'm excited. Now I'm even excited. So for those who are listening, you can always come back and see it live.
Yes. So I have to share my screen.
Perfect.
So bear with me for 1 second.
We will do that.
And hopefully you can see my screen.
I can. This is fantastic. Always check tech, by the way, when you're doing any kind of podcast or demonstration or what have you. And yes, I can see the screen, and I believe all of our viewers will be able to do the same.
Yes. So I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about the details because I know we have audience members who listen to us on audio only. So I have to really be descriptive. Obviously, for people who want to see the video, doing it on video, you get to see the real time. But here's an example of the dashboard of HomeZada. And if I click on the details tab here real quick, if you look here at sign up, the user entered in an address, and this sample house is located in Wilmington, North Carolina. Now, if I scroll down below that, it knows that it was built in 2008 and it's a 3,000 square foot home and it's 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. It even knows the county and parcel number. It's in New Hanover County and the census tract and the latitude, longitude, which becomes massively important for weather alerts. We're going to talk about that in yet another future podcast about weather alerts. But you get the general gist over. All you had to do was enter in your main address. All that other data got created for you. Now, there are different ways that Homeowner AI works. At the below these main navigation items, it says Zada AI, your Homeowner AI. You click on that, and essentially it gets you to what's referred to as a chat box. So for our audio listeners, most people can visualize what a chat box looks like. It's basically a blank form where you can start entering in whatever question you want. And so you can just place your cursor there and now use your keyboard to type whatever you want. Now, what we've done with HomeZada is we know that people are going to freeform and ask all different kinds of questions because there are so many during that home journey.
Oh my gosh, homes are so detailed. Like there's so many parts and pieces and everyone's having a different experience.
But if you notice below the main chat box, there's 4 boxes there. And inside those boxes are what we refer to as default questions. So it's almost like a starting point where you don't even have to type in information. the AI tool will surface specific questions that you may be interested in.
Okay.
And if I read some of these, it says, do you have some home remodeling project ideas for my house? What home asset value and specific expenses should I track? What are the upcoming maintenance tasks for my property? Explain why estimated value of my home and the tax assessed value of my home and the insured value are different.
Oh, that's a big question for a lot of people too.
Right. So watch the magic. You don't even, with these boxes at the bottom, you don't even have to type. All you have to do is put your cursor over that and click on it. And now watch the homeowner AI is automatically engaged in answering that question. And in less than
Oh my
10
gosh,
seconds,
that's brilliant.
it's given you a text-based answer, but it's also formatted it for you in a way that's easy to understand. Let's face it, most people, when they see just huge chunks of text, it becomes daunting and they're like, oh, there's just too much to read. But presenting it to you in a table format where you can kind of, especially if you're doing compare this to compare that and all these different aspects, makes it much easier to see. And so for the audio people, I wanted to explain what you've actually seen here. It's created a table and it says, okay, what is the estimated value of a house? And the answer says, this is the market value of the property reflecting what it might sell for the current real estate market conditions influenced by factors of location, market trends, comparable sales. The second row in the table is what's the tax assessed value? This is a value that's determined by the local tax assessor for property tax purposes. It's often lower than the market value and may be based on a percentage of the market value or fixed asset assessment formula. And the third row says the insured value. This represents the cost to rebuild or replace the property in case of damage or loss. It typically excludes the land value and focuses on construction costs, materials, and labor required to restore the home. Think about being a first-time homeowner who's never really contemplated understanding what this means to them.
Yeah. And even an experienced homeowner who doesn't always understand the differences of the three elements. And now they may have more visibility and make better decisions and know how to work with the appropriate entities that manage all of these aspects. So, the tax assessment office will manage the tax assessed value. The insurance company will manage your insurance value. I mean, part of that is market conditions. The estimated value will then change, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you're not only understanding the details of what these are and what they refer to, but you're understanding how to communicate with the various service providers or people in your community that are helping you manage this house in an intelligent fashion. And so you can have good, thorough, great questions and conversations.
Correct, which is Homeowner AI does so many different things. This is an example of education.
Yes.
But education in a very, very simple way. And if I continue the demonstration, if I scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you can see that once you get below the main answer, you see a bunch of icons where you can copy this and you can save links and add a task. So this is that part where the Homeowner AI inside of HomeZada is connected to the digital home management platform of being able to save all this information. But now notice at the very bottom of the screen, you have 4 more boxes with potential questions automatically generated for you based on the previous response.
Yeah, you can have a full-on conversation to get as much detail as possible so that you can be prepared for whatever situation.
Correct. As an example, the first box says, how does the tax assessed value affect my annual property taxes? You click on that. Again, I could have keyed in the chat box my own question, right? But I didn't. I just clicked on it because it almost automatically gave it for me. And now you can see that it's basically created another follow-up question to the previous answer. And for the audio people, I want to read it to you, right? It says the tax assessed value of your property directly impacts your property taxes because it serves as the basis for calculating the amount you owe. Now this gets into that. Remember I told you this house was in Wilmington, North Carolina? It says the value assigned to your property by the local tax assessor for this house is $475,000. The local government sets a property tax rate, oftentimes expressed as a percentage. For your property tax is $4,700. The property tax is calculated by multiplying the tax assessed value by the tax rate, and it actually shows you what that tax rate is. And essentially, again, the power of Homeowner AI is somebody using this in Seattle or Minnesota or somewhere else, lives in a different state with different property tax rates, with a different market value, but they're going to get a tailored answer for their home.
Which is specific, which is amazing. I think that's super, super important.
And it's unlimited. I can continue to have this, what I call ongoing threaded discussion, right? You can see the first box here again. Underneath it, it says, how can I appeal my property tax assessed value if I think it's too high? Are there any exemptions or deductions I can apply to lower my property taxes?
So basically, the conversation can keep going.
Correct. And that is the massive power of Homeowner AI, because you're essentially now having a discussion with a property tax assessment expert
within the system,
specific to your house. And this is way better than what you could ever get on a web search, which is why I am so excited about where AI is going in terms of the technology and the power that it provides. But if I scroll up to the top of our chat box, you can see there's two tabs here. The first tab says chat, which is essentially where you're having an ongoing chat about whatever the subject matter is. If you look to the right, there's a second tab called history.
The history looks like it's going to keep all that data.
Correct. Absolutely correct, Elizabeth. Now think about this. You own a home. You've been using HomeZada for a year, and you've engaged in all these different chats over the course of the year. And now you remember, oh yeah, I asked about property tax a year ago. What was the answers? You can now search inside of HomeZada for your previous chat questions and answers.
That's fantastic.
So you can see here, it's automatically saying 2 minutes ago we did that one, and you can see 6 minutes ago we did that one. But now you can see 2 days ago I asked how to fix the house fan.
Correct.
Right?
And it gives a detailed account of how to do that, and it's stored so that you can reference it at a later date.
Correct. And now it says, today's March 31st. On March 28th, in this sample, I asked it to predict future replacement costs for me. So every single chat interaction is saved, and this is all saved, and it's private and secure to just you. So think about all those experts that you talk to. When you have to retain that information when you have a phone conversation with them, or even when they send you an email and it's buried in with all your other work email. Now all of this data is now saved for you. And now think about, for the homeowners who are married or partners living together, you could then search my previous chat histories about the house, and you're essentially learning from all that stuff because it's automatically saved for you.
Yeah, and for those who are listening, it's really clean. It's a clean look and feel, which makes it easier to read, versus if you don't see a clean look and feel, you're not going to want to read it. So I like that. I love that is what it looks like. I appreciate that, because I'll stay more engaged if that's the case.
Correct. Now, this is just one example, Elizabeth, of Homeowner AI, which is having these ongoing chats.
What's next?
Let's talk about your photos.
Oh, photos. So most people, I'm hearing positive things about this from a lot of customers right now.
Most people think about Homeowner AI as being what I call text-based, right? You're basically typing in a textual question and you're getting text-based answers back.
Totally.
But HomeZada has a home inventory application. And if I click here, you can see here's a gallery of all the rooms inside my house.
Yep.
So the user can go through their home with a mobile device or whatever device they want, upload photos of those rooms. So I'm going to go to this first one here called Family Room, and I'm going to click on the tab here called Photos, because we know that HomeZada, you can take multiple photos from different angles. And if I blow this photo up full screen, you can see essentially what you see in the full screen of this particular photo. Now, if I set up the next interaction, what I also want to do is, this is the family room, and if I go to items, notice the items tab is completely blank.
Yes.
Right? But now I hit photos, you hit the select menu on the top right, because you have to choose which photo you want to process via AI.
Sure.
Because this may have a gallery of multiple photos. You click on the upper right-hand corner.
There's
and
a little
at the bottom,
circle button that checks.
Correct. And then you hit the HomeZada AI recognition. And now, instead of a text-based question, it's basically predefined the question for you. And it says, identify all the objects that you find inside this photo.
Holy cow. It's even given estimated values.
Oh, just wait, Elizabeth. Let's talk. Let's talk about this. This is going to be hard for the people on audio only, so I really encourage you to come back and watch one of the videos, because we've got a photo of a family room, and there's a sectional sofa, and there's a fireplace and TV. But now, just based on that one photo, the AI tool has created a table in a very simple to read format.
Correct.
Where that table has 5 different columns and a whole bunch of different rows. The first column is it's the name, and it's basically creating a name for each item it finds inside that photo.
Correct.
So it's found a sectional sofa, right? And visually, Beth, you can look at that photo. Is there a sectional sofa in that photo?
Yes. And
is there a coffee table in that photo?
And an area rug. Yes.
Is there a rug? Is there a fireplace mantle?
Yes.
There's a mounted TV.
Yes.
There's a grand piano.
Yes.
There's built-in shelving.
Yes.
And the second column now is basically categorizing the inventory, because everything inside your house fits into 2 categories. It's either a possession, which is personal property, that gets tied to your home insurance. That goes into the moving truck when you hire a mover, which is extremely valuable. The other things are what I call fixed assets of your house, which tend to either need maintenance or get replaced, and or if you ever sell your house, those are the things that potential buyers are very interested in. So the second column is categorize those as whether that identifies the items as possessions or fixed assets. It even further categorizes them in the third column around category, because insurance companies love to know how much electronics you have, or how much furniture you have, or how much jewelry you have, or how many small power tools do you have. And you want to be able to aggregate those. So the AI tool actually categorizes that. Then the two most powerful things is it even estimates the value of those particular items.
That's amazing.
And the last column is the description, which even creates about a 15 to 20 word description of the item that it actually finds. Now, I'll ask you, Beth, the question. You've done an inventory before.
Yeah.
How long would it take you to manually key in all of this data if you only had that one photo?
It probably took me a couple hours a day for a week to complete an entire home inventory of a very large house. But I also, and I'll be the first one to say it, I took tons of photos. I think I'm the girl that has like 5,000 photos of her house in HomeZada. Yes, I do that. Because I have different angles of items, this, that, the other. So I do all of that. But yeah, so a couple hours every day for a week. Yeah, I'd say. So that would be like 14 hours.
Correct. Now, look at the power of Homeowner AI. In less than 10 seconds, it took that photo and created all that data.
Yes.
Now, if I go to the bottom of the AI chat, again, you just look at the icons on the right. You want to be able to save these, because you want to be able to save them from the chat window to your home inventory.
Yes.
So
I can run other reports on the back end.
Correct, because you're going to do this on every single room in your house, and then you're going to want to aggregate that into a report and send that to your insurance company and say, am I properly insured?
So this explains why I had a conversation with a customer recently who was asking about some details, and he unfortunately had a house fire, and it was a wonky kind of house fire. It wasn't from a natural disaster. It was from something within the house. And he had to submit a claim to his insurance company, and he is using HomeZada and its AI on the inventory to literally take pictures of rooms. And he said he took a picture of a drawer and saw it picked up everything in that drawer. I mean, even he said something to the effect that there was a little LED disco bulb in that drawer, and he goes, all right, I have it. And so He's submitting all of these on his claims.
Yep. And if you click on the save items, it pulls up essentially all those items in like a mini little spreadsheet. Now,
Yeah.
why is this important? Let's face it, the AI tool is going to do the best job it can to identify all these things, but it's not foolproof.
No.
And it's not always 100% accurate on every single thing. So what we tell people when they use Homeowner AI, you always want to validate and verify the information that it's created. But we know from user behavior is they're much more likely to correct something that the AI may have gotten wrong and make a slight correction than they have to do to rekey in all that data from scratch on their own. So as an example, essentially now it allows you to do a quick little edit, and I'll just do one here at the top. That sectional sofa, it says it's worth $3,000. Well, what if you actually just bought that and it was $3,500? You could literally just change it, because now you're essentially correcting the AI, and you could make as many of these corrections as you want. Down at the bottom, you hit the save button. It saved all those, and now you could go back and either review the inventory or pick another photo. I click pick another photo because I may have other photos that I've taken of that family room from a different angle with different items that the initial photo didn't
Totally.
collect. So you can essentially reprocess all of your photos, just having to do them one at a time. And now if I go back to the items tab, it's automatically created all
them.
those items for you. And we're going to get into another podcast about taking close-up photos of all those items, especially the ones that have like serial numbers and barcodes.
Totally.
But we don't have time on that particular podcast, but we got to keep people wanting a little bit. But you understand sort of the power of what I call using your photos to create data around your house.
Yes, totally. It makes so much sense. And it makes sense because I haven't seen this functionality because I just don't use it, because I've got a complete inventory of why some of our customers are pinging me saying, this is making my process of submitting a claim more thorough and easy. And believe it or not, this particular customer is extremely excited about doing it because they get to use forward-thinking tech that they didn't even know originally existed.
Correct. And we had a previous podcast about estate planning and trying to create an estate plan, right? So for people who are trying to do it, where's that grand piano in this photo going to go? You could easily click on that, assign it to an heir, and boom, you're done. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. This is so game-changing as it relates to technology and making every homeowner better and smarter about how to manage just about everything in that entire home journey.
They would literally have better discussions with every vendor they've ever worked with because they have more knowledge. Like so, everything. It's like amazing.
I think we have time for one more how does it work part of this podcast.
Perfect.
So I want to show, because we've seen two, right? The first one was text-based Q&A. The second one was a photo. Now I want to jump over to the maintenance section of HomeZada. It's got its little dashboard here. Now in the upper right-hand corner, there's a block that's called Actions and Discovery, and there's 4 or 5 different text links.
Yes.
The third text link on there says Monthly Temperature Home Analysis.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to click on that and explain to you what actually is happening here.
Something's happening.
Something is happening, right? And it's going to take a little second, and you can see, again, based on your home in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, it's giving the weather forecast. Oh my gosh, month by month, the averages is brilliant.
Correct. So but before I describe what's seen here, I want to prompt you, Beth, because you've moved across the country quite a number of times. How important is it to you when you move from one state to another to understand what the climate issues are as it relates to maintenance?
It's huge. It's so huge because knowing when to do your home maintenance task varies. So living on the East Coast where it snowed and it was super cold in the winter and below freezing temperatures and stuff like that, there was a time when spring was truly spring versus the winter outside of Sacramento, California, is slightly different in that you can actually do some of your maintenance tasks, and it's encouraged And then when spring comes, you can follow up with the rest of it. But there are some things that you can get done beforehand versus the other side of the country. Like there's certain things you just could not do.
Correct. So now to describe for our audio listeners what actually happened in this AI chat. The AI says, okay, based on your home in Wilmington, North Carolina, I'm going to create a table with 4 different columns. The first column is all 12 months of the year. The second column shows you what's the average high temperature during the day and the low temperature at night. The third column is what are the typical weather events for that particular month. And the fourth column is what is the key maintenance task to perform for that month.
Yeah.
So as an example, the first row is obviously January, and in Wilmington, North Carolina, the highs are usually 56 and the lows are 36. And the weather events, it says cold and dry, key maintenance task, inspect your water valves.
Totally.
Why? Because it's getting close to below freezing, and anytime anything goes below freezing, pipes can sort of burst.
Yes.
Right? Then
and for people
February.
who don't know that does happen. And
Correct.
That can cause massive damage to your house.
Correct. February, 60 to 38, cool and wet. Check your furnace filters, right? If I jump to the summer, right? If I jump to June, it says 87 to 69. The weather is hot and humid. It says trim shrubs near your AC units.
Yeah.
Your air conditioning units, many people don't realize this, they need airflow.
Correct.
And if you've planted trees and shrubs around that, it's constricting the airflow. Your AC unit works harder, potentially burns out quicker, not cooling your house, and you have to replace it much sooner.
Spend more money cooling your house, pain in the neck.
Spend more money, exactly. And now, again, going back to the why is this so important, property-specific data.
Yes.
If I logged into a different property and it was in San Diego or Minnesota or, New Hampshire, completely different climate
different.
And completely different the maintenance tasks. Absolutely amazing what Homeowner AI can do. And now if you scroll down to even to the bottom of the list, you can see there's other task lists because this is an AI chat. And a lot of this is built on, if I click on recurring task schedule, at sign up, when you sign up for HomeZada, HomeZada automatically creates a preventative maintenance calendar for you. Now, this allows you to basically get very specific around which days you should do it and sort of the tasks and tracking any of those actual costs. Don't have time for all that in today's session, but hopefully you guys get an appreciation over how Homeowner AI works because it starts with property specific based on your address. It starts with that. It goes to that long form Q&A that we had about sort of property taxes. It goes to submitting your photos and analyzing and creating data. And the last one was almost creating insights and forecasts over and predictions over what you should do based on where your home is located based on the climate and weather conditions.
Yeah, I just see so many opportunities, like speed to create areas to create things that you need for other entities, meaning like insurance companies if you got to file a claim, or maintenance contractors or property managers if you're trying to manage multiple properties. I can see the value of understanding what needs to get done to save money in the long run, to understand also your time. Like, how do you speed up time? Like, this is amazing on how it can do that very efficiently. And so I appreciate these just 3 minor tasks that we showed, because this can be endless. I mean, you can keep going and having conversations and whatnot with Homeowner AI and keep moving forward with that to figure out what's going on in your house. I mean, that's just amazing.
Correct. And we talked about every homeowner is a different generation. First-time homeowners are on a journey about learning home ownership, but even experienced homeowners like you were in Maryland, you moved to California, you're like, I've never managed a home in California. Correct. So whether you're a first-time homeowner, an investor, somebody that's downsizing into a condo, whatever the case may be, there's so many unique aspects of it. And that is the power of Homeowner AI, is it takes all those unique aspects of it. It makes it very specific to you, which is why I am so, if you can't tell, excited about Homeowner AI, because it makes us way better and smarter. Even the people that think that they're sophisticated and smart owners,
Yep.
you're going to learn so much with very little interaction because it's simply click and have a conversation. It's absolutely amazing.
I just think that's fantastic. And I can't wait to learn more about some of the other AI features that we have, and then also other information on how to better leverage HomeZada to manage your home. I mean, I'm just so excited that we're doing this again. So anything, last parting thoughts?
No, I'm excited about future podcasts because I'm just, as you can tell, I'm just, it's impossible to understate my excitement over what and how we can improve people's lives as it relates to managing their home using Homeowner AI.
That's amazing. All right. With that, we'll close out, and we want to thank everyone for being here. For those people who are listening, if you come back to the video, you will see some video demonstrations of how these 3 areas work in Homeowner AI. But for everyone else, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. If you love this, please like, subscribe, share this with whomever you think needs it. I know a lot of people are starting to talk about Homeowner AI and helping other people get prepared for potential situations that could cause problems. But we want to thank you for being here at Be a Smarter Homeowner podcast. And until then, we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you for listening to the Be a Smarter Homeowner podcast. Visit beasmarterhomeowner.com to sign up for our newsletter and find out more about software to help you save time, save money, and manage your home.